When we're faced with hard situations, difficult emotions on a regular basis, it's easy to become desensitized to them and to start thinking that they are normal. And what we're missing out on is the recognition that we are being impacted by them still. Externally, we may be showing that we're fine and nothing's wrong and hey, I'm just dealing with it. But on the inside, whether we recognize it or not, it impacts us. In the last 2 years, we've been faced with a lot of hardship with the isolation of COVID, with all the stuff in the hospitals being overflowing, and people dying at alarming rates. And healthcare service people have had to face that pretty regularly, and it has an impact, and it's had an impact on you. I want to talk about how do we deal with that constant state of emotion, particularly for healthcare workers, that just unspoken constant of death. Death is a challenging experience in a lot of ways. That transition from life to death is emotional. And for those who it's their own family members, you're expected to grieve. You're expected to feel sad and all those kinds of things. And there's a lot of people that will provide support and care and be present for you. But what about those that are there helping? What about the nurses? What about the doctors that are dealing with it multiple times a day, and they're expected to just kind of to deal with it and kind of move on and to just be stoic about it? That's not necessarily a healthy thing, and we have to process through those emotions. There are a lot of ways to be able to deal with that, and one of the biggest things we have to recognize is that we've got to stop bottling up our emotions. We've got to stop thinking we have to be tough to deal with things, because bottling things up and just being tough about it isn't actually being tough. It's avoiding. Avoiding only makes things worse. Avoiding exacerbates it because it builds up. It gets bigger, and it kind of can create some toxic chemicals in our body. It can create toxic emotions and environments. And so when we take the time to just actually be present with our emotions, to own our emotions, to be able to talk about things, then we're moving in a healthier direction. We don't have to be tough. Let's remember that. Let's talk about the difficulty. Nurses, as you deal with those things, it's okay to cry. It's okay to have emotions as you have patients die. Give yourself that permission. You will be able to cope with it better if you can do that. Now, don't allow your emotion to overshadow the family, who's dealing with the death's emotions, but it's okay to feel that. It's okay to show that with each other. Create a culture of kindness and caring and compassion with each other, and not the machismo that might be present. So allow for breaks. If you need to take a 5-minute break, do it. If you can breathe and you can get to a place, deep diaphragmatic breathing, you can do that for 45 seconds to a minute. Great, that gets you in a better place. It actually triggers the parasympathetic nervous system, which will calm you and get you to a better place a lot quicker. But recognize there are different skills and tools. One of those is good self-care. That's a preemptive strategy. That's a preventative strategy. I've talked about that in a lot of my other videos, but self-care is pretty important for you. These are things like get good sleep, exercise, eat healthy foods. That's just the simple stuff. And then the other thing is talk. With this, talk to your other coworkers. Talk through what you're feeling with each other. Talk to your supervisor if you need to work through things, because you guys can help each other. You've been through things, you know how to cope with different things, and share that knowledge with each other. Talk through what you're struggling with, and and maybe even talk with your friends, your family, and allow them to know what you're going through, and be present with you on that. There are many things that you can do. Take the time to do it. Give yourself time to grieve. If that's on shift, it's on shift. Find a place and a time to do it. If it's outside of shift, find it. Take 10 minutes to pray, to meditate, to be present, to feel your emotions. I can't say it enough times. Feel your emotions. If you try to not feel your emotions, if you try to numb out and avoid your emotions, they only get bigger and worse. Feel your emotions. Then use the healthy coping skills to work through them. Take time to be outside, connecting with the earth, with the sun. Right now I'm out in my yard. I'm sitting in the sunshine, sitting on the grass, feeling the outside. And this is helping me to kind of ground myself and be present. There's a lot of things that are challenging that you're going through. This is a constant. It's heavy. Don't minimize it. Talk about it. If you have opportunity to be in a support group where you talk to each other and work through things together, do it. It may sound weird to you at first. Do it. It's super helpful to know that others are going through what you're going through and kind of normalize what you're feeling. There's a lot of also resources online that you can utilize. One of those is a website called All Nurses. One of the resources that you can use is a website called allnurses.com. I'll leave a link in the description. This is a blog that's sharing different kinds of adaptive coping skills. There's some great stuff on there. And there's a few other resources as well to talk about what's going on, and I'll leave those in the description. You're cared about. We appreciate all the work that you're doing to help us and others in hospital settings and other things. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for your sacrifice, and I hope this helps. Thank you.